to the second ever episode of Tea And A Timelord. Well, first official one. On today's show I shall be taking a look and giving you a tour of the Doctor Who exhibition of Ultimo. And swaggering into the Wild West with my 50th anniversary Doctor a Week review thing countdown with the first Doctor story from 1966, The Gunfighters.
There we are, Doctor, they're bluffing! If you believe that, boy, you're going to be powerful surprised in a few minutes.
I really think I must go out there.
Appreciate your feelings, Doc, but I can't let you.
But I might be able to convince them that I'm not Doc Holliday. I can't just stand here and allow them to hang Stephen.
And I'll be taking a gander at the rather pricey Doctor Who 50th anniversary coin. But first off, news. The Doctor Who Symphonic Spectacular is set to add another location to its 2014 tour. The special musical live event will open the 2014 New Zealand Festival in Wellington on the 21st and 22nd of February 2014. The Spectacular is also set to play performances in both Melbourne on the 31st of January and the 1st of February, and later in Brisbane on the 8th of February. I shall be attending the Brisbane show, so look out for a rubbish flesh and stone Doctor and his beautiful Amy Pond. And in related news, the Doctor Who 2013 Proms BBC televisation has received a small but still quite decent 1.2 million viewers. Audience figures peaked at 1.6 by the final quarter of the 75-minute special. Doctor Who Adventures magazine is on the search to find the biggest young Whovian. The competition officially opened this week and is open to the 2nd of October. Children aged 5 to 13 must simply write a 250-word letter explaining why they are the biggest Doctor Who fan, and also include an image demonstrating their love of Doctor Who. Kind of like this one, but not a, 16-year-old guy alone with his Daleks and stuff. It's a bit less weird when you're 13. The one winner will get the chance to have a Cyberman at their school and a VIP family pass to the 50th anniversary celebration in November. Lastly, Matt Smith begins filming his epic conclusion to his wonderful reign on Doctor Who. Smith begins filming on the 8th of September with returning companion Jenna Coleman. Smith's final episode is written by executive producer and head writer Stephen Moffat. Also announced in a short Daybreak interview is that Matt will be wearing a wig to cover up his shaved head.
I did it for a film, but it means I have to wear a wig in Doctor Who, which is a nightmare. How are you feeling about that? Good, excited. I start shooting Christmas special Sunday. It'll be sad.
But the end of a good era.
The end of a wonderful era.
Now I'm sure whoever is in the head of wigs in the BBC will do a wonderful job, but I can't help but think back to Karen's wig in Pond Life and The Angels Take Manhattan, and how distracting and botchy and not natural it looked. I travelled back into the city to take another quick look around the Doctor Who exhibition at Ultimo, so I thought I'd take you along for the ride. The exhibition features an item from almost every single era of the show, with the 8th and 9th Doctors sadly exempt from the exhibition. From celery to ood heads, the exhibition has it all. From the first Doctor we have on offer a prop replica from the 80s walking cane, as used by William Hartnell in the series in numerous episodes. The second Doctor's recorder sits nicely displayed, in colour, as opposed to its original appearance in black and white in The Power of the Daleks. It later popped up several times after, including the 3 Doctors.
I was wondering where that had got to.
This is one of several prop replicas, and not originally used in the series, as the original disappeared into the vortex, and sadly doesn't exist.
Oh my word.
Ooh, shiny! The 3rd Doctor's sonic screwdriver, and my personal favourite, appears in all its glory. However, it is a replica made by the team behind the Doctor Who experience. This prop made its first appearance in Inferno.
It's only a door handle.
Also representing the 3rd Doctor is an original and screen-used Dalek from Death to the Daleks. This particular model was only ever used once in that episode, and has resided in Australia for quite a while, appearing at many events. The Fourth Doctor's scarf appears to be quite shorter than expected, but given the scarf's kind of crushed together, it's probably longer and I'm just an idiot. The scarf was introduced in the Fourth Doctor's introductory episode, Robot, and it featured with minor changes all the way up until the Leisure Hive, when the Fourth Doctor had a costume change, as did his scarf, to a more burgundy tone. Both the Fifth Doctor's hat and celery are on display, and when I saw these I did let out a small squeal of joy. Davison's hat and celery were introduced into the eyes of the audience in Castra Vulva, still appears standalone in a box representing the Sixth Doctor era at the exhibition. The costume has certainly stood the test of time and looks absolutely 80s, sitting on its purple silk pillow. The villain featured in the episode Vengeance of Varos. Representing the Seventh Doctor's era is the detection device from Paradise Towers, as made by the BBC prop department in 1987. The prop was originally used by the caretakers to track down the Doctor. David Tennant's 10th Doctor has the most prominent presence in the exhibition, featuring 4 props and costumes from the series, mainly being his complete costume. Yes, the real one as worn by David Tennant. This particular model was last seen in the 10th Doctor's final story, The End of Time. I noticed this suit did feature quite a decent amount of dirt on places on the costume, and as I found out, it is in fact the stunt costume worn from that episode. Next, an Ood head sits, and is in fact from their debut story, The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit. The Ood have reappeared in the series 4 times after their original appearance. Next to the Ood we have a, sadly now damaged, Pig Slave prosthetic from 2007 two-parter, Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. Excitingly, Kylie Minogue's character costume, Astrid Peth, from the 2007 Christmas special, Voyage of the Damned, also appears. This, as with the 10th Doctor's costume, is slightly torn, as it was used for the stunt sequences from the episode. The 11th Doctor is represented with an item from each series, starting with Toby Jones's Dreamlord costume, from the 2010 story, Amy's Choice. Bidey the Cybermat from 2011's Closing Time is featured as well, and this particular flimsy foam-like model was used during the stunt sequences. And bringing us bang up to date is the newly redesigned Cybermen from Series 7's Nightmare in Silver. This one is beautifully positioned to allow quite sinister photos as its arm is outstretched. Finally, of course, we have the blue box itself. This particular model has been recreated by the ABC's prop department to resemble that of Matt Smith's TARDIS exterior, as first seen in the 11th hour. The exhibition also features a timeline of important events in the show's 50-year history. Available in the ABC shop, just back from the exhibition, is a limited edition guide featuring information on all items in the exhibition and many other interesting backs and figures. For a free exhibition, this is a must-see for any Sydney residents. However, if you're a bit tight on money, I really wouldn't spend the cost to fly down, as it isn't quite worth a flight. However, I shall be revisiting it a few times before its close in early January next year, that's for sure. The 50th anniversary is approaching fast, and merchandise seems to be spewing out in all forms possible. So what's the next logical money-making technique thing to release? Oh, a limited edition coin, of course, in a handy little TARDIS case. In co-production with BBC Worldwide, the New Zealand Mint have designed a rather beautiful looking coin to commemorate the show's 50th anniversary. The coin has been pressed by the New Zealand Mint and is actually of legal tender value of $2. Not that I'll be spending mine anytime soon. One side of the coin details an image of the iconic TARDIS police box, in particular the Matt Smith model, surrounded by a vortex-esque aqua colour. Around this image there is a finely engraved font bearing the words Doctor Who 50th Anniversary and the iconic dates 1963 and 2013. Whilst on the rear of the coin features the generic display for all coins in New Zealand, and the quality of fine silver certainly doesn't stop anywhere on the entire coin. With only a mintage of 10,000 coins ever to be released, it's quickly selling out worldwide and sure to be worth something one day. And fun fact, the first coin stamped was actually sold for well over $2,000 on eBay. Of course, featured along with the coin is the display case in the shape of the TARDIS. The box splits in two to reveal two separate fabric padded displays, one side holding the coin, the other a small manual documenting the number of issue and other details. When opened, the TARDIS sounds the iconic warp warp noise. As made famous by Matt Smith. But do make sure at least one of your doors are near a light, as the sensor on the top that initiates the sound is light activated. I did not know this and got mine replaced twice because I thought the batteries didn't work. And it's because there is no manual that comes with it. So whilst this set does come with an almighty array of features, is it really worth it? Well, given in Australia it costs $120, I think it is just a bit of a big ask for such a tiny piece of merchandise. With there being such a large number of sets being released, I feel the high price tag isn't needed. Whilst it is a highly prized piece for 50th collectors, with 10,000 being issued, it is unlikely that you will be regaining any profit anytime soon. Of course, most will treasure this coin forever, as will I, and as a lover of all things Doctor Who, I am very glad it's being created. With the perfectly designed and crafted coin, and this sweet-as TARDIS display box, the 50th anniversary coin is a nice addition to any collection. If you can afford it, I'm giving it 6 out of 10 TARDISes. No, I can't. Is it TARDI? Is there an actual thing, TARDIS, TARDI? Probably not. The amount of Doctor Who magazines out there in the world just keeps on growing, and this time there's the Doctor Who figurine collection to add to your list. Each issue is set to feature a highly detailed figurine, which have all been hand-painted to resemble the iconic characters. The first issue features 11th Doctor Matt Smith, and Davros comes along with issue 2. More Doctors, villains and companions to follow. Along with the figure in true collectible magazine style, you receive a fact file. Kind of rhymed. Each week the file comes with numerous facts and figures about the series, from interviews to behind-the-scenes looks at the iconic scenes from the 50 years. As of yet, the magazines, once again, are only available within UK distribution. However, with the likes of DVD files and Doctor Who magazine, the collection is assumed to eventually be available more globally. Now, Character Options have chosen to re-release some of their finest figures and sets to the American and Australian market. The figures will be featured in new packaging as seen on classic series figures, but retain all the original moulding and features that appeared in the original releases. The figures include the 4th Doctor, Captain Jack Harkness, the Doomsday set, and the Companion set. This is sure to be a hit for those of us who missed the figures in their original release, or, in the case of America, never even got them available in their country. The figures are available to order from Entertainment Earth for America and Pop Culture for Australia. I'm going to be getting, like, the Doomsday set, because I never got that, and the Companion set. But, not the other ones, because... Actually, I might get Captain Jack Harkness. Get him too. I'm just going to get all of them. Yeah. In the 11-week lead-up to the 50th anniversary, I shall be taking a look at an episode from each Doctor per week, from the 1st Doctor William Hartnell all the way up to the 11th Matthew Robert Smith. First off, the Gunfighters. The Gunfighters was a 4-part story towards the end of the 3rd ever series of Doctor Who. It was the perfect blend of humour, drama and, of course, information, as the original series Doctor Who was meant to be an educational drama for children. Well, that went well. The story took place around an almost accurate retelling of the historic gunfight at the OK Corral, and involved a case of mistaken identity. The episode takes place after the absolutely shocking cliffhanger of the Celestial Toymaker.
I wonder.
Doctor, what's wrong?
Anyway, the Doctor lands in Arizona Tombstone in the hope of finding the local dentist to look at his toothache. He stumbles into the thick of a Western plot when he is mistaken for the infamous gunfighter Doc Holliday, and thus the crazy shambles begins. Oh dear. writer Donald Cotton rather successfully exaggerates and amplifies every element of a Western film during this episode. From gun-wielding cowboys to the swinging wooden doors of the bar, and of course that crazy little ditty, The Last Chance Saloon, which is repeated all throughout the serial.
So fill up your glasses and join in the song. The Lord's right behind you and it won't take long. So come you coyotes and howl at the moon till there's blood upon
Seriously,
the
every moment something happens in this story, the song kicks in just to confirm the moment's events. Whilst at first the song is laughable, by episode 3 it gets rather irritating and I did find myself shouting every time it appeared. I mean, come on, how many things rhyme with saloon, guys?
soon, don't you?
While some may complain about the ridiculousness of this episode and take it in spite and, you know, think that Stephen singing in the OK Corral was stupid, which it was.
Chance to die. It's your last chance of boozing when there's no one to mind. It's your last chance of losing and the first place you find. 4 days ride from the station, you're leaving at noon, and your one consolation is the last chance.
The Doctor's final line of the story to Dodo just confirms that writer Donald Cotton had done this all as an almighty setup for laughs.
You know, you're fast becoming a prey to every cliche-ridden convention in the American West. And it's high time we left. Now, come along. Come along.
Oh, but Doctor!
Speaking of the Doctor, William Hartnell seems to genuinely enjoy the role in this story, and he provides some amazing laugh-out-loud moments that I did find myself chuckling at, which is unusual in classic Who.
Holiday! Holiday? Yes, I suppose so. Yes, you could call it that.
My name's Harper. Seth Harper.
Oh, well, I'm very glad to know you, Mr. Harper. Yes, I suppose you brought a message from my friend.
Right. Kind of a message, Doc. The boys are waiting for you at the saloon. They'd sure like to buy you a drink.
Oh, well, that's very sociable of them, but unfortunately I don't touch alcohol.
The Doctor we see in this story is no longer the stern and grumpy old man which we generally assumed he was. Here he is comedic and much closer to the youthful Doctor we know. Funny, it's like how Matt Smith is a young man, but ends up playing an old figure. It's like in this story, William Hartnell is an old man playing a young figure, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Purves and Lane as Stephen and Dodo, the new kids in the TARDIS, also seem to warm to their roles in this story. Both of them help to propel the action along, as they give the story some sort of depth into what would have been then a modern era. Now, it's not to be said that classic Doctor Who, or even new Who, has ever had amazing supporting cast members. However, in this particular episode, we're given some of the worst American accents ever heard on television.
Outside, just looking in.
Now, that ain't so. We're backing you. You make your play and we gun him down. Easy as skinning summer frogs.
Yes, that's it.
Whilst the majority of the cast are gut-wrenchingly awkward, actor John Alderson deserves a special mention for putting in a fine effort as Wyatt, and creates quite an emotional and dramatic character that could easily be worthy of modern Doctor Who in certain scenes. Something which actually, I don't say very often in Doctor Who, was that I was impressed with the sets and the soundstage. It actually looked decent. My voice went really high then. In many scenes I did find myself lost in it, and it almost stood up to the likes of A Town Called Mercy and, you know, some decent Hollywood Western films. With the opening showing cowboys on horses riding in from the distance, the director is begging you to take in the scale of the episode, and it absolutely works, for the most part. Every now and then the curse of the wobbly set peeks in, and we catch a glimpse of the endless space of the black roof during the closing battle. But of course this can't be helped on such a low budget. Get over it. 2 quick facts is that Big Baddie Johnny Ringo was originally supposed to be played by Patrick Troughton, who would later become the second Doctor, so it's quite a good thing that he turned down the role, or else it would have been unlikely that, you know, Matt Smith would have ever portrayed the Doctor how he does based on Patrick Troughton. And also, The Gunfighters is the final story to feature individual titles in the classic series. A small goodbye to a trade of the classic series there. Aww. So all in all, The Gunfighters is a romp of a time, and if you avoid the horrible American accents and the overly used song, you'll be able to enjoy it for the sweet, kind-hearted grandfather Doctor. So I give this story an 8 out of 10. Now the Gunfighters is available on the Earth story box set, and within this box set you also get the Awakening, which is a 5th Doctor story, so you know it's a pretty good bundle. And I mainly got that box set because I am completing my 5th Doctor era collection. So I got 2 good episodes, even though I haven't actually watched this one. Whoops.
Doctor!
I don't want to discuss it any further. In you go. Go along.
So, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm just getting warmed up, excuse the pun, to presenting, so I hope I'm not too annoying. Anyway, in next week's show, I shall be taking a look at the 2nd Doctor story, The Ice Warriors.
When do we attack the base? Swords under.
And giving my thoughts on the new wave of character building figures. Whatever. Anyway, do tune in next Saturday for another episode of Tea And A Timelord. I don't know why I said tune. You can't really... That's like radio. You can't tune it on YouTube. It's stupid.